Hi, my name is Jean Ann Zwick, and I did my leadership analysis paper on Mohandas Gandhi. I'm going to give you a little bit of background on Mohandas and let you know why he was a great servant, transformational, and authentic leader. Mohandas Gandhi is recognized worldwide as a political and social rights activist. He was best known for leading India in a movement to gain independence from Great Britain. Mohandas, or simply Gandhi, was born in India in October of 1869. Gandhi was born to the fourth wife of his father. The first three had passed. His father actively served as a chief prime minister to Hindu princes during his lifetime. Gandhi was the youngest of two brothers, a sister by his mother, and two half-sisters by his father. At the age of 13, Gandhi was married in a group wedding with his brothers. He grew up immersed in Hinduism and actively participated in vegetarianism and fasting with his mother. He had a time of rebellion in his teenage days, which he quickly reverted back to his roots after confessing and not wanting to disappoint his parents further. From then on, Gandhi would consistently strive to better himself. Self-discipline and growth became a lifestyle for Gandhi and would lead him down a path to create a vision that would resonate deeply with many of his followers. This vision was based on an idea he developed called ahimsa, meaning nonviolence, and satyagraha, meaning firmness and truth. Together, these ideas formed the idea of a truth force, love force, as an act of passive, nonviolent resistance and protest. Although a practicing Hindu, religious philosophy would take Gandhi's interest over his lifetime. Over time, he concluded that all religions were imperfect and that truth was God. With a broadened sense of goodness, Gandhi held a high appreciation for life and equality, approaching adversity with peace. This strength of Gandhi's became a common theme that made him a successful leader. At the age of 18, Gandhi moved to London to become an attorney. His profession as an attorney was determined for him to follow in his father's footsteps. To gain his mother's approval to study law in Europe, he promised to abstain from wine, women, and meat. Gandhi followed through with his promise, finding community with other vegetarians in the area. Upon returning to India with no job prospects, he accepted a one-year contract with an Indian law firm in South Africa. He did not know this then, but he would choose to spend 21 years of his life living in South Africa for work and political movements. During his time in Africa, Gandhi witnessed and experienced discrimination for himself on the basis of being an immigrant. Ideally, Gandhi would have preferred to study medicine. Upon his father's death, he realized his passion to heal and care for others, as he did for his father for many years. Gandhi's behavior demonstrated a type of servant leadership that was defined by putting followers first. Gandhi and his wife had an open table policy for young political workers and young colleagues like he was given in Europe within his community. This humanistic and altruistic nature of community is a characteristic of servant leadership. Along with building community, Gandhi also displayed innate awareness and understanding of the physical, social, and political environments around him. Gandhi's awareness was beautifully displayed from his time in South Africa. In the South African War in 1899, a war for independence from Great Britain, Gandhi decided that this war was for him and his fellow followers their duty to defend, even though they weren't considered citizens and were treated unequally at the time. This idea to others at the time may have been hard to grasp, to fight next to your very oppressors. Yet Gandhi raised 1,100 volunteers to fight in the spirit of service. Although South Africa lost the war, the spirit towards the ultimate good was profoundly felt in South Africa. The roots of his servitude, from sharing his food to serving ones who hurt you, to caring for others' basic needs, met no bounds for the greater good and therefore created a foundation for societal impact. Also, with a high concern for others and little concern for self, Gandhi held values of altruism, which is a fundamental concept of authentic leadership. One component to authentic leadership is high moral standards, and Gandhi believed truth was the substance of all morality. Upheavals like the one in South Africa and in India's society created tremendous demand for authentic leadership, where followers were searching for an honest, good leader. Gandhi's ability to connect with others in good relationships by being vulnerable and true to himself is another component of authentic leadership. Majority of people who came into contact with Gandhi and his vision could connect with him, and therefore they bestowed commitment to his goals. Gandhi was able to breed community and help people in equality and fairness. His willingness to do such good for everyone gave him his third nickname, meaning great soul, which was Mahatma. To his followers he served, but he was saint-like to them. All leaders and followers following Gandhi in South Africa and India gave up their short-term needs for the long-term goal, which was the central idea of transformational leadership. During this time, his followers stood up for what they believed in, yet did so without violence. The dedication and sacrifice of his followers made his vision of Satyagraha and Ahimsa a reality. The trust built with the followers displayed Gandhi's leadership role as a component of transformational leadership, inspiring motivation. After returning to India from his time in South Africa, a new law was put into place from Great Britain called the Rowlatt Acts. This act made it allowable to imprison a person without trial if suspected of resisting the law. In resistance, Gandhi called for a day of fasting in addition to non-violent protests which hundreds of thousands of people participated. When the non-violent protest failed by turning violent, Gandhi called off the protest. From there, Gandhi supported a movement to boycott British goods, which he and many others were arrested. Gandhi's boycotts against British government went as far as to organizing the manufacturing of goods within India's borders. Overall, Gandhi handled each challenge and protest with an intelligent and modernized approach, from fasting and manufacturing goods to defying laws that made people unequal, like the Rowlatt Acts. Gandhi challenged the process effectively. Gandhi and his successful methods towards oppression have transformed the world beyond his influences in South Africa and India. Every step on Gandhi's unique path was a product of his religion and broad sense of knowledge of self-development from seeking truth. Discriminatory events led him down a path to facilitate the visions of Ahimsa and Satyagraha that gave his followers a better quality of life. With genuine altruism, desire for servitude, and his strengths combined, he was able to initiate three of the greatest civil rights movements the world has witnessed, influencing other individuals to lead their own movements through his words and actions. Gandhi was assassinated in 1948, 1 year after India became independent of Great Britain. Gandhi's influence on personal growth and guidance continue to this day as his role as a leader surpasses his violent death. Thank you for listening. Bye.